Casey Rodriguez went camping alone in the Appalachian Mountains after breaking up with her long-term boyfriend. She chose a remote area and didn't see another person the entire time she was there. At night, she heard rustling outside her tent, but assumed it was just animals. When she returned home, she handed her vintage camera to her dad to develop the photos. A few days later, he called her. He asked if she had met anyone during her trip. Confused, Casey said no. He paused, then asked again, telling her it was okay, but she just needed to be honest. Casey repeated that she had been completely alone. Then he shared with her one of the photos he'd developed. A picture of Casey fast asleep inside her tent, taken on her own camera. A Reddit user was walking a trail with her dogs when she spotted something huge. She snapped a quick photo and quickly left. It wasn't Bigfoot, it was a moose, just 10 feet off the hiking trail. Foliage blocked part of the view, leaving only a blurry picture. The encounter showed how hard it is to capture wildlife up close, even when the animal is large and nearby. The user noted this might explain why so many alleged Bigfoot photos also appear unclear and unconvincing. Green Gables, a century-old fine dining spot in Jennertown, Pennsylvania, has long carried a reputation for being haunted. One employee, uneasy with the atmosphere, would often film during late shifts. One night, their instincts were spot on.
I don't know, something doesn't feel right about this place. Like it's, I can't even describe what it feels like right now. Like this is just fucking, what the fuck is that? Nope, 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 nope.
A shadowy hand visibly moved across a statue's waist, too clear to blame on lighting tricks. Of course, the video could be staged, so in the end, we're left wondering what to believe. In the Appalachian Mountains, the nights can be dangerous. Strange sounds often echo through the woods. One evening, a man was sitting on the porch of his cabin when he suddenly heard this. Locals speak of the Whistlers, mysterious beings said to wander these hills after dark, calling out to anyone who dares to listen. What would you have done in this situation? A woman named Morgan lives deep in the remote stretches of the Appalachian Mountains. She regularly shares her paranormal encounters online, but one chilling experience keeps happening again and again. Morgan has captured the same strange figure on camera multiple times. It looks like her husband, same height, same build, but it never turns around. It just stands there, facing away. But that's not the only terrifying thing she's recorded.
I'm at my family's haunted farm. I was gonna come explore with my husband today, but he couldn't get off from work because he's boring, so I thought I'd bring you guys. Hey. Hey.
On more than one occasion, her audio equipment has picked up the unsettling sound of the Appalachian hay, a mysterious phenomenon where something from deep in the woods calls out, mimicking human voices. Locals believe the mountains are full of mimics, entities that take the form and voice of those you trust. While camping in the Appalachian Mountains, someone woke up to this sight. For a moment they were terrified, until they realized the spider was on the outside of the tent. Still, a chilling way to start the day. A hiker and his family were driving through a wide open stretch of the Appalachian meadows. Somewhere out in the middle of that empty field, they came across a woman. Out of nowhere, she snapped.
I have kids in the car. You better go. I have kids in the car. You better go.
What?
Who is that? Who is that?
They're calling me a damn fucking kid!
I got you on video. You better get back.
Jeff's after you.
Jeff's right there. He ain't doing shit.
You're the one to say something about my damn son! And I got it all over recorder. Get the
No one really knows what triggered her or what was happening. Thankfully, she calmed down after a while and the hiker drove off. This is the Fugate family. This Appalachian family became known for their unusual blue-tinged skin. The condition was caused by a rare blood disorder, methemoglobinemia, passed through generations due to isolation and inbreeding. It began with Martin Fugate and Elizabeth Smith in the 1820s, whose children carried the recessive gene. Many descendants inherited it, and though their appearance was striking, most lived normal, healthy lives. One descendant, Luna Stacy, lived to 77 and had 13 children. The last blue Fugate was born in 1975, marking the end of this rare genetic line. A man was hiking deep in the Appalachian mountains when he suddenly felt uneasy. He pulled out his phone and slowly scanned the trees. That's when he noticed it. A black and white figure standing still among the bushes. The moment it seemed to realize it was being filmed, it ducked down and vanished. When the man checked the spot, there was nothing there. Some say it was just a hoax. Others believe it could have been one of the unknown beings said to roam the Appalachian woods. A person went for a walk in the woods near their house when they stumbled upon this. Inside the strange structure, they quickly realized what it was. A witch's hut. They posted the photos online, and commenters were quick to warn them. Don't touch anything, don't take anything. But they already had. It's probably best not to disturb places like this, but the uploader didn't seem too worried. They were only wondering who had placed the items there, and what their intentions were. A man went to check on his cabins in the woods when he stumbled upon a very strange scene. A group of women stood in the open, each wearing headsets, moving in a trance-like state as if caught in some ritual or mind control. Their movements were slow, almost meditative, until they froze, locked in unnatural positions. Some lay face down on the gravel, others stood stiffly facing trees, and a few twisted oddly on the ground, feet bent at impossible angles. Even if it was just a unique form of meditation, it looked extremely eerie. A woman shared a photo from a past trip with her husband. It showed them standing on a quiet mountain trail surrounded by trees. Everything looked normal until she zoomed in. Behind her husband, a little girl appeared, half hidden but clearly visible. The strange thing was, they were certain no one else had been there that day. The trail was long, empty, and far from the main path. To this day, they have no idea who or what the girl was. While exploring a mountain river deep in the Appalachian forest, a group of Russian tourists claimed to have seen a massive dark creature. It had an oddly cone-shaped head and unusually long arms, towering above the water. The creature turned toward them briefly, locking eyes for a few unsettling seconds. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, it vanished into the dense woods. No one knows what it was, but of course, the description sounded very much like Bigfoot. Deep in the forest, an explorer stumbled upon something strange. A jar tucked between the twisted roots of a massive tree. Across cultures, stories tell of dark beings trapped in containers to keep their power sealed. Open it, and you might unleash something dangerous. The find felt less like treasure and more like a warning. He was wise not to open it. In 2016, a camera trap deep in the North American woods captured something tall and thin, with a distorted head and hollow features. It didn't look human, nor animal. When the photo surfaced online, some claimed it was proof of the mythical wendigo, while others dismissed it as Photoshop or a hoax. Since little information has been provided, people's suspicion is understandable. Still, what if it's real? A hiker caught something strange on camera, something he couldn't quite make sense of. A red glowing ball with no sound and no clear source, just this fiery thing floating up through the forest. Some say it's a spirit, straight out of tribal legends. Others think it might have been a flare or maybe a drone. But according to the hiker, it didn't feel man-made. To this day, no one has been able to give him a clear explanation. One night, a man noticed a strange pair of glowing eyes moving around his property. He grabbed his gun and stepped outside, hoping to confront whatever it was.
All right, whatever you are, you need to leave. Stay out of this place. This is our home. This is our home. You need to leave.
The moment he fired, the creature bolted into the darkness. What made the encounter chilling was the height of the eyes, nearly 7 feet off the ground. The man didn't think it was human, or even an animal. A woman was inside her Appalachian home when she heard what sounded like meows. She walked around the house trying to figure where the sound was coming from. Using her phone to look up toward a high spot she couldn't reach, she saw this.
Hi, kitty cat. That is not a cat. That is not a cat.
It wasn't just a cat, it was a mountain lion. She didn't keep filming. Instead, she quickly went outside and probably called an animal control officer to remove it. How did it even get there? Someone had just arrived at their stay and wanted to film the neighborhood for their family, but they accidentally captured something unexpected. A sudden streak of light cut across the sky, bright, fast, silent, and gone within seconds. At first they assumed it was a meteor, but by morning word had spread. An elderly woman from the neighborhood had passed away around the same time the light appeared. Maybe it wasn't just a random flash, maybe it was her spirit slipping away. Others whispered about angels. Or was it just a meteor after all, and the timing merely a coincidence? A person was driving through the Appalachian mountains when he came across a car crash. He took a photo to document what had happened. At first glance, the image seemed ordinary, but on closer inspection, he noticed something unusual. When zoomed in, it appeared distorted, yet unmistakably clear. Some believe it was a spirit lingering near the crash site, while others say it was just an illusion. Whatever it was, the image left people feeling uneasy. After being away for a couple of months, an Appalachian homeowner returned to find this: tiny handprints. They hadn't been there before, and no one had entered the house while it was empty. Some say it could be raccoons or squirrels slipping in through small gaps, while others think it might be something stranger: dolls, or even spirits leaving their mark. Whatever it was, the house wasn't empty. Something had been inside. YouTuber Dawson Toller set out to investigate Elkmont, a once bustling logging town nestled in the Appalachian Mountains. Decades ago, it was full of life. Trains came and went, sawmills roared, families built houses. But eventually the trains stopped, the mills shut down, and the government cleared the area to make way for a national park. Now all that remains are a few decaying cabins and a forgotten cemetery, silent witnesses to the past. Dawson arrived during the day to scout the area. As night fell, he focused his investigation on two of the oldest cabins.
And the first spot that we're going to go to is going to be number 7. 7 and 5 are some of the oldest ones here. So I figured we would start out at one of the oldest ones and then move on from there. There is a freaky ass vibe. And I don't know if that's just because it's dark out and I'm alone, or if it's because there's ghosts, but I'm ready to find out.
Setting up a REM pod and an extra camera. While filming, something caught him off guard.
I'm in an entire town right now. There's nobody here. An entire street of just houses in the Appalachian Mountains. How crazy. That was really loud. I was outside somewhere. Let's grab the REM pod and take a gander. Just in case. I heard 2 noises. I highly doubt you guys will hear them, but they came from outside. And we are in the middle of the woods, but it freaked me out enough to not stay in the same place for a long enough time because it didn't come from inside here. So let's go ahead and move on to another spot and see if there's anybody that wants to talk to us.
A strange sound that made him pause. He moved to another building.
We're gonna walk into this one because this is the one I just heard a scrape.
Continuing his attempts to communicate with whatever might linger there. Then he heard this. A branch breaking outside.
I will say... What is that? We need to step outside. That sounds weird. I don't know. I just don't want it to be a bear or something, because I truly am out here alone. This isn't one of those things where I'm like, I'm alone, guys, and there's some fucking dude hiding outside. Like, we keep it real over here. So we need to step out and take a gander. I heard what sounded like a stick breaking, and we are in the woods, but I'm getting really freaking freaked out.
Worried it could be a bear, he grabbed his flashlight and stepped out, but no one was there. That's when he noticed another car parked nearby. Odd, since he hadn't seen a single person wandering the area. So what was behind the noises? A fellow explorer, a wild animal, or something that never left Elkmont at all? In a quiet forest, a couple set up a camera near a stream and climbed into a hunting stand, hoping to capture wildlife. At first, everything seemed peaceful. Squirrels and raccoons moved about as usual. But soon, something terrifying happened.
Was that a vehicle? I don't know. I have no idea. It sounds like screaming to me.
A strange sound echoed through the trees. Loud, piercing, almost like a scream. At first they thought it was a distant vehicle, but the sound grew sharper, wilder. Some believe it was just an animal. Others whispered it might have been Bigfoot. To this day, the couple still doesn't know what they captured that night. A man and his dog woke up in their tent one morning to a nasty surprise.
Я что?
The tent was surrounded by a dense swarm of mosquitoes, nothing short of a nightmare. The only way out was straight through them, and the second you unzip, they'd be all over you. And the dog. For anyone trapped inside, escape would feel almost impossible. I'm sure he made it out safely, but how remains unknown. Cody had lived on his property for 22 years when something strange happened.
So I was mowing the yard yesterday and seen this little square patch of grass. It's never been here before. It's dead. When I drove over it, it kind of sank. And I came over here with a shovel and tapped on it. Let me get a little closer. It's some kind of door. I've been here 22 years and this has never been here before. So I really don't know what to think about it. But about 1944 there was a old cabin here that burnt down, and it may be some kind of well or storm cellar or something. I may dig it up if enough people show any kind of interest in it and want to know what it is.
While mowing the lawn, he noticed a soft patch of grass that had never been there before. Curious, he poked around and discovered a hidden door buried under the turf. Digging it up wasn't easy, but eventually he managed to open it.
Well, it wasn't easy, but it's open. I don't know if it's an old septic or an old well. It's way out here in the field away from everything, but I had about a 15-foot stick of conduit. I stuck it down in there and couldn't touch the bottom. And I do have an old pump. I'm gonna stick in there and pump all the water out and see what in the world is down there. There's no telling, as long as it ain't an old septic. I see what y'all think. If anybody knows, let me know. But that's what it was. Had no idea it was here, so now y'all know.
It looked like an old well, or maybe a storm shelter. Using a long metal stick, he couldn't even reach the bottom. Later that evening, odd sounds started coming from beneath his house. He grabbed a camera and went to investigate.
What the fuck? Look, I'm fucking out of here. That's your fault, TikTok.
What he recorded wasn't just eerie, it was terrifying. What do you think?
What the fuck? Look.
A woman in the Appalachian Mountains recorded a strange sound from her back porch. It resembled a child crying, but the area behind her house was only dense forest. She said the footage was raw and unedited, with audio slightly enhanced. Viewers compared the sound to local wildlife, but nothing matched. The source of the noise remains unknown. A man was out making late-night deliveries when something unusual caught his eye near the roadside. On a swing sat a small child, gently swaying in the dark. The sight was strange. There were no nearby houses, and it was the middle of the night.
I'm sorry, mate. Fucking look at this. Fucking motherfucker on it. Look, seriously.
He pulled over, but when he looked again, the child had vanished. Only the swing moved, creaking softly as if someone had just been there. He said the air suddenly felt cold. Was it a ghost? Was it a real kid? The man felt freaked out and quickly drove off. In 2017, a cyclist was recording his ride through a dense forest when he noticed something strange standing ahead. At first he thought it was a scarecrow or maybe an old doll left behind. But as he moved closer, an uneasy feeling started to build inside him. It was completely still, dressed in a clown costume, facing nowhere. The silence of the forest made it worse. Feeling a chill run down his spine, he quickly turned his bike around and sped away, certain that something wasn't right in those woods. He never found out if it was a real person or a prop. This grainy photo was taken at night by a security camera from someone living in the Appalachian woods. You can barely make out much, just a tall, shadowy figure standing against a dim backdrop. It looked like Bigfoot, except the head was oddly small, way smaller than you'd expect. Maybe it's a different kind of creature, or just a person after all. A trail camera deep in the Appalachian forest captured something strange one night. Between the trees, a pale figure appeared in the frame. The camera's owner said they had never captured anything like it before. Could it have just been a trick of the light, maybe a bug passing by, or did the camera catch something unexplainable? One evening, a woman was relaxing in her Appalachian home when something caught her eye. Just outside the kitchen window, a figure staring through the glass. In Appalachia, there's one rule you never break. Always cover your windows after dark. But that night she didn't, and many have wondered since why break a rule meant to keep you safe. A home surveillance camera captured a disturbing scene. An unknown person stepped out of the dark forest into a quiet front yard. Then he began to cry. The video ended there. When the family watched the footage, they were terrified. No one in the small, quiet, and remote neighborhood knew who the man was or why he emerged from the woods that night. Where did he come from? Was he really human, or was he possessed?
The famous actor Henry Cavill, best known as Superman, once posted a video on Instagram casually building a gaming PC. At first glance, it looked like a straight tech tutorial, showing off both his hardware skills and enthusiasm. But then, things took a strange turn. Viewers noticed an eerie face in the window behind him. It didn't seem staged, and Cavill never reacted. In the comments, some swore it was a ghost, others thought it might be a painting. Some even suspected it was a clever promo for a new movie. But to this day, that theory's never been confirmed. So, what was that creepy thing in his window? Near mile 1,241.5 of the Appalachian Trail in Pennsylvania, a hiker spotted a folded paper wrapped in saran wrap, clipped with wire, and placed in a tree at eye level. About a mile later, another identical package appeared in the same setup. Inside was a page filled with references to secret societies, symbols, and conspiracy themes, a jumble of cryptic words and connections. Its true purpose remains unclear.
Paige Hills visited her boyfriend's family in Appalachia for Thanksgiving. From the moment she arrived, something felt off. That evening, while they sat down for dinner, she heard faint whistling coming from the woods through an open window. Later that night, the whistling returned, louder this time, followed by someone calling her name. When she looked outside, two glowing red eyes stared back at her from the darkness. The next morning, when she mentioned what had happened, the family looked terrified. Her boyfriend's mother told her quietly, "Next time you hear something, no, you didn't." Then her boyfriend showed her a trail cam photo from that night and told her never to speak of it again.
Back in 2014, hunter Michael Green was deep in Uwharrie National Forest, his thermal camera in hand as usual. He had done this hundreds of times. But that night, something was different. Through the trees, his thermal cam picked up a heat signature, large, upright, and moving strangely. Critics were quick to dismiss the footage, calling it blurry, inconclusive, nothing worth noting. But Michael disagreed. He was sure of one thing. That wasn't human. To this day, no one's been able to confirm or disprove what he saw. So what was it? Just a person, an animal, or something else lurking in Uwharrie's shadows?
This woman was staying in the Appalachians when she noticed something truly disturbing. A man was standing right outside her stay, watching her. Fortunately, she had already called the police, and they showed up quickly, ending this creepy situation.
While exploring an old college in Appalachia built in the late 1800s, a hiker came across something unusual in the basement. A sheet covered in strange symbols. It showed astrological signs, hexagrams, and planetary glyphs, arranged with purpose, not just random scribbles. Some think it ties to alchemy, Kabbalah, or Hermetic traditions, while others believe it's a mix of real occult symbols and personal inventions. Who made it and why it was left there remains a mystery. One evening, two friends wandered into an abandoned house and noticed a strange black figure near the shed. The fading light made it hard to see, but the shape stood out by the doorway. Nervous, one pointed a knife while the other tossed a spray paint can. The figure twitched but didn't move further, so they assumed it was part of the broken door and left, but not without taking a photo first. The next day, they returned with more friends. this time, the shed's door was clearly red and white. The black figure was gone. No trace remained. They have no idea what it could have been. Adam was hiking with his father, but at this specific moment, he was alone. That's when it happened.
Passed someone on the trail, like a guy. He looked like he was like from the 80s. He was wearing a full suit that like looked like he was from the 80s, and I was like, ew, I don't like that. I got a weird vibe from him. And look at what I just found. Is this not like terrifying? Should I open it?
The man didn't say a word, just calmly placed a briefcase on the ground and walked off. Curious and creeped out, the hiker opened it. Inside was only an old map dated 1989. That was all. But the suited man was still nearby. Could it have been a time traveler from the 80s?
On a cold January evening around 6:40 p.m., a trail camera captured two figures on a remote dirt road. The one on the left had a leg-like shape much like the Fresno Nightcrawler. The owner posted it online hoping for answers. Some said it was just a deer and a person, while others pointed out the strange posture and that it was the only image the camera sent that night. Everything about it feels unsettling, especially in the Appalachian area.
This Reddit user and his friend were hanging out with a group late at night on a 60-acre property, though they mostly stayed within a 5-acre area. They were playing hide and seek to pass the time. Suddenly, a sharp, eerie scream rang out from the woods nearby. They figured it might have been a coyote, but something about it felt off. Just to be cautious, they pointed a phone in the direction of the sound and snapped a photo. When they looked at the picture, they noticed a white figure that looked eerily similar to a Skinwalker. Now it could be anything, but with the strange sounds and unsettling feeling in the air, what if it really was a Skinwalker?
A woman driving in South Carolina saw strange lights moving through the clouds and recorded this video. Around the same time, someone in LaGrange, Georgia, filmed similar glowing orbs drifting across the sky. The lights seemed to move in patterns that didn't match any aircraft. Some thought it was a UFO, while others said it looked like spotlights, the kind used near Niagara Falls. No one knows for sure what those lights were. What's your guess?
In 2008, a man inherited land from his late grandfather. While exploring it, he discovered old trail cameras and checked their SD cards. Most images were of deer and small animals, but one frame stopped him cold. The photo showed a tall, dark figure with unusually long limbs, caught mid-step as if striding on two legs. It didn't quite match a bear or a man. Some insist it was a bear, others believe it was faked.
Someone posted a video online, claiming lightning had struck his field and created a terrifying scene. A section of the ground glowed bright orange before fading, leaving smoke rising into the air. What's strange is there's no sign of a lightning bolt, just an abrupt flash. Many viewers doubted the explanation, suggesting it might have been a directed energy weapon or some kind of laser. Such weapons used focused energy instead of projectiles, making them silent and nearly invisible until the moment of impact. Whatever caused it, the footage left viewers confused.
It was just another sunny day in Kentucky when a man out walking near his home heard something odd. not from the sky or machines, but from under the ground.
There's something under the ground, and it sounds like it's about to bust out.
Curious, he pulled out his camera and tried to capture it. As he got closer, the strange rumbling sound grew louder, like something moving deep beneath the surface.
It's over here in the field.
There was no construction, no digging, nothing that made sense. No one really knows what's going on beneath that peaceful-looking patch of land.
In the 1800s, a meteor struck this village, killing hundreds. Locals believe that every January 11th, the spirits of those who died return to wander the woods. In 2021, a man visited the site to record it. While filming, his watch began ticking backward. Later that night, he set out to capture a few final shots before heading home. But something happened. Something he didn't notice at first. As he filmed, he saw movement in the dark and assumed it was just his shadow. Yet, when reviewing the footage later, one chilling detail stood out. What looked like legs could be seen hanging from a tree.
Chris Gamer 08 had just gotten home, exhausted, when something strange caught their eye. Outside the window, two glowing eyes, staring straight in. Startled but curious, they quickly snapped a photo and shared it on Reddit, hoping someone could explain what they were seeing. So far, no clear answers. Could it have just been an animal? Maybe. But in the Appalachian region, you never really know.
While hiking in Albemarle County, this man stumbled upon something terrifying. At first glance, he thought he had come face to face with a cobra. But later he learned it was actually an eastern hog-nosed snake, a harmless species that only looked dangerous when threatened. It flares its neck and hisses like a cobra to scare off predators. Fortunately, this encounter was more frightening than dangerous. A group of teenagers set out for a weekend trip in the forest. They parked their van and were relaxing when movement in the woods caught their eyes.
Yeah, it's like, yo, you see that? Yo, fellas. Yo, what? Yo, look. Holy shit. Look over there, dude. Yo, look over there. Dude, what? Yo, what's it? Yo! You see that? Is that it? Hello? Yo, you see that, dude? Look. Yo, get the fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Yo, go. Get the fuck out.
A dark, furry figure emerged, walking upright, then suddenly seemed to drop to all fours and began running. Panic erupted as the group fled, with one of them capturing shaky footage of the encounter. The creature looked disturbingly human, yet wild. Whatever it was, it's a day the teens will never forget. A local recently caught this photo on their security camera, and they believe it captured the image of a ghost walking through the woods. No face is visible and the outfit looks a bit strange. Was it a ghost or just a creepy person?
A group of men was driving down a dirt road when they saw a clown walking ahead.
Dude, what? What? Is that a clown? No way. Honk at him. Dude, honk at him. No way. Dude, get out of here. Go, back up. Go. Oh my god. What the? He's just going. Oh my god, dude.
They slowed down and watched as the clown stepped off the road into a nearby field. Unsure what to do, they started driving forward again.
Go back. No, don't go forward. You guys stupid. Oh, go back fast. Don't step on it. Step on it. Go, dude. No, I got it. It's fine. Go. I got it. Oh my God! No. What the? Get out of here.
As their vehicle passed, the clown suddenly ran toward them and lunged at the car. The men sped away, terrified by what they had just seen. Do you think it's real? In 2015, a teenager in Turner, Maine was walking their dog when they filmed this short video. It showed a large, upright creature moving slowly. Researcher Bill Brock later examined the site and found footprints about 15 inches long, far bigger than a human's. While skeptics suggested it was a costume or camera trick, no proof of a hoax ever surfaced. The clip remains one of Maine's most debated Bigfoot sightings, keeping the legend alive years later. A Reddit user snapped a photo in the dead of night, not thinking much of it until they looked closer. Behind a house, something white was peeking out. It wasn't smoke or a light flare. It looked exactly like a person, or at least something shaped like one, half hidden and still. No one had seen it in real time, except for the camera. This picture was taken while a family member was building a small fort in the Appalachian Mountains. At first glance, it looked like just an ordinary outdoor photo. But when we take a closer look, something terrifying appeared near the right side of the tree. A figure with a pale face, seemingly wearing a long, dark cloak. Some said it was just fog or smoke drifting by. Others believed it was a trick of the light. The strange part, no one else was outside when this photo was taken. So what did they capture that night? A trick of nature, or something paranormal? A home surveillance camera captured a chilling sight one dark night in the Appalachians. In the footage, a shadowy humanoid figure appeared. Its eyes glowing in the dark. Moments later, it vanished. The glowing eyes and sudden disappearance left the family with unsettling questions. Who or what had they captured on their security camera? Could it be connected to the Bigfoot legends of these mountains? While hiking through the Appalachian Mountains, this man reached the end of a trail when he stumbled upon something unexpected. A small, unmarked graveyard hidden deep in the woods. Unfortunately, the uploader didn't share much more about his discovery, leaving us to wonder who might be buried there, and why this graveyard was left abandoned. Back in June 2020, Chris Hopkins and his friends went exploring an old naval base with his crew on a freezing, windy night. Right after stepping inside, this happened.
This looks so weird. I don't think it's really... Looks like a cave in over there.
But they kept going. Nothing major happened until they were heading out through the woods. As they squeezed through a fence to reach their car, they suddenly heard something chasing them.
It wasn't my car, it was yours.
Make sure you don't get caught on the fence.
Holy bro!
They ran ASAP. Whatever it was loud and real. In a Virginia field, massive statues of US presidents sit abandoned. Once displayed in a museum, the 20-foot faces now crumble in silence. Weather, rust, and mold carve into them, yet each figure remains recognizable.
Hidden on private land, they stand as relics of history, left to decay. One man still hopes to restore them, but till then, they just stand there. And for more goosebumps, watch this next video now.